Hey YouTube, I'm sure you're wondering why there's no creepypasta uploaded right now and today. I have no script or anything because I'm doing this so last minute, but there isn't gonna be one today, and I'm very sorry about that. I started on the recording earlier today. I was planning on finishing it, earlier tonight, but stuff came up. I'm panting, by the way, just because, I'm exhausted and stressed, and basically what's happened is, after much stress with getting my new processor, because my old one is, pretty close to kicking the bucket, and just simply not strong enough anymore, for all the, it's, very computer-intensive stuff I do, rendering video and recording video, streaming, all this stuff is very, very hard on the CPU, and after these long years, the CPU just isn't cutting it anymore, so I'm getting a much more powerful one, which is over there. So after much stress with trying to get it, because when it showed up to my door, I couldn't get it because there was an extra fee put on top that I couldn't afford at the time, so I had to pick it up today because apparently it's like a reverse lottery with Canada Post, where if you get a shipment from out of the country that's more than a certain price, there's a 10% chance they'll charge you an extra, for me, $58. Millie wants out of my room. Hi, Millie. Millie, go. No editing, don't have time. I don't have time to edit. I'll just throw fade on the beginning and the end. Make sure the audio sounds good. So, a lot of stress involved there, but I managed to go and get the processor from the postal office and had to pay the extra money for that, which was bullshit. With how little money I already make. I make less than half of minimum wage and they fucking put that fee on me. So, I get the processor back to my place, unhook the computer and everything, bring it over to my desk over there, open it up, pop out the old processor, CPU, interchangeable, and put in the new fan and the new CPU and everything. Hook it back up, close it up, boot it, it just shuts itself down and continually tries to boot and then shuts itself down immediately. I'm starting to think the power supply is not strong enough, even though the specs on the old processor and the new processor say they take about the same power. But I guess I'm just really pushing my power supply to the limit, I don't know. So that was really stressful because computer problems is a big trigger of stress for me ever since those 3 months when my computer was busted and it was just dropping hundreds of dollars fixing part after part just for it to not work and not work and not work. So computer troubles are a thing that's a real stress causer for me. So I put in the old processor and then hook it back up, and my computer's running way hotter than usual for some reason. In fact, when I say way hotter than usual, I mean instead of idling at about 50 Celsius, it's idling at 97 Celsius, which is only 7 degrees Celsius below its shutdown point, in which it'll shut itself down to keep from setting fire to itself. So I call my computer repair guy, my go-to computer repair guy, thank God he's still awake. I explain the problem, and he says the overheating is because the fan, my old processor fan that I've put back on, for some reason 2 of the clips must have broke, and the fan wasn't seating on it properly. That's where the overheating is coming from. And he said that the shutting down is starting back up. He thinks it's the power supply, but he needs to take a look at it. So, with any luck, tomorrow, can't be Sunday, but tomorrow, or sometime during the next week, I'll be able to bring it into him. He's going to take a look at it with the new processor and the old processor, figure out what the problem is. If it's a power supply, he's got computer supplies there. He can probably replace the power supply there, and I can just buy it from him, and then it's all fixed up. So for all I know, this whole thing could be fixed tomorrow, and in fact, the state of my computer right now, because I fixed the overheating thing by putting the new processor's fan in, which actually does a better job than the old fan of keeping it cool, so it's even better than... My computer's technically running better than it was this morning, slightly, but running better than it was this morning on the old processor just by having a better fan on it to keep the heat down. But I am so insanely stressed out that I don't think I can finish the voice recording and the editing and all that stuff tonight for today's Creepypasta, so it's gonna have to wait till next week, so I'm really sorry about that. I don't have a video for Sunday, but I'm sure I'll be calmed down enough tomorrow, hopefully, that I can do that video in the morning. So we'll have a Sunday video. Oh, I guess, tongue-tied. Guess I might as well talk longer just so you have a little bit more content for today to make up for it. In recent news, I just passed 10,000 subscribers. Yay me. This is a really stressful job, by the way, is creating your own content like this, because not only do I get paid just about nothing, and I don't get paid if the person's using ad block, which is over a little less than half, I think it is, of my viewers use ad block. Just a little bit less than half, I think it is. But, oh man, reading comments every day. I still get emailed for every comment and I read all of them. And for all, as much as I get really nice comments and everything, you hear the most awful, vile things, like, you think it wouldn't get to you so much, but, you know, when you work as hard as you do, when you work over 40 hours a week on doing all this content and you really love doing it and you feel good about yourself and you're like, yeah, that thing I did, that video I did, that's a good one. I liked that video. And I upload it. And then let's check the comments of what my viewers say. And then every day I have at least 15 people calling me a piece of shit over the most mundane things, such as not enjoying the same creepypasta they enjoy, or having to explain how their argument doesn't work and their logic is flawed in the same way as 500 other people every single day, because I can't expect them to have read the other comment. Oh my god. If you guys want to know, just a good long video explaining the stresses of this job and how so many people get gray hair early. Like, I don't know, I'm ordering a new webcam soon, a better quality one, but I don't know if you can tell, I'm thinning and balding quite badly from stress. This is a hard job, and I try and keep that off camera because I want it to be all fun and happy and educational and whatever, but on the vlogs, I guess I might as well reveal a little bit more of my life, because I've actually get comments often when I reveal little tidbits of my life, saying, like, I really like when you do that. And one of my most popular videos was, I think it was a glimpse into the life of Mah-Dry-Bread is what it was called. And that video is very, very popular, where I just talk a bit about my personal life. I'm a little bit out of it right now just because stress gets me really wired. Believe it or not, I'm not on drugs. I don't do drugs. Well, I drink alcohol sometimes, but incredibly rarely. I don't enjoy being drunk. I don't know how people can like that. Anyway, so maybe the problem will be fixed by tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe the new processor will be in and everything will be hunky-dory. I don't know. If you didn't see the video on it, if you didn't see the troubleshooting videos on it before, the reason I wasn't streaming PTCP yesterday is because I'm having trouble streaming. XSplit recently, in its new updates, has been having an issue with Twitch, where sometimes if you stream with XSplit, which I have a paid license for, then like half of the viewers, they'll have problems where the video will just keep buffering, and sometimes it'll play a little bit and the audio will be out of sync and really fast and skip around and stuff, and it's just unwatchable. So I also have open source broadcaster, which is really nice, but the problem is, for some reason, all of a sudden, it crashes on a lot of games, or it'll suddenly and rapidly overheat my computer when streaming. Pretty mundane things, such as even my desktop. Sometimes it'll just overheat it, but it won't overheat on my webcam, just very specific things. And weirdly enough, it does not overheat on the game Evil Genius, so I can still stream that. But I would assume having a much more powerful processor would help me with that. So once I get the new processor, I can stream many different games, many more things, without having to rely on XSplit, which doesn't crash my internet, doesn't crash the stream. However, it makes so many people have to buffer, so the best thing I can do is get this new processor. Interestingly enough, I use OBS, Open Broadcast Software. I use the recording in it to record Age of Mythology, because I tested many different recording softwares with it. All of my stuff, I have like 5 recording softwares, 2 of them are streaming ones too. And the one that works by far the best is, weirdly enough, Open Source Broadcaster. And even though I'm recording in a way higher quality than I stream in, it doesn't overheat. I get a little bit of stutter, but that's because the game itself has a very hard time with modern recording software. It's the same problem that you see with Age of Empires 3, where in cutscenes, when the camera pans, it'll stutter a few times quite often. It's a conflict with recording software. If you play the game yourself, especially on a modern computer like the one I have, which is quite a powerful computer, the game runs smooth as a hot knife through butter. It's a solid 60 frames and beautiful game at that, especially for its age of Mythology being 2002. I've also been getting a lot of comments asking where I got Age of Mythology and where you can get it. I got it back in 2002 on store shelves, in a disc. I've got the discs back there and everything, including for the expansion, which, as you can see at the beginning, I'm playing it from the expansion. Where you can get it, I believe the Microsoft Games website allows you to buy it online. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to find. It's not on Steam. I tried looking around online to give people a link, but the only reliable things I could find were like Amazon and eBay, and those bids always expire, so I have to leave that up to the user. So if I find a really solid way to get it, I will definitely link it because they are amazing games. Age of Mythology is an amazing game that I would love to play with you guys. The direct IP doesn't work in it anymore and the servers aren't up anymore so far as I know. However, if you get Tungle, which is a free program, and you get in a lobby with someone else you want to play with, you'll show up on each other's LAN list, so you can still play it online if you get Tungle, which again is totally free. You don't need to buy it. There's a purchased version that gives you extra perks, but you don't need those perks at all if you want to play it with friends. So I would love to stream that with you guys someday, once I get all these computer troubles sorted out. What else do we need to talk about? Water. I can't even stream PlayStation games, weirdly enough, console games. OBS even freaks out when I even show you my capture card now. It's really bad how sensitive it has gotten, and I'm not entirely sure why it is so bad. My stream quality will be better though once the new processor is put in, because it's so much more powerful. I'll be going from streaming in 30 frames per second to 60 frames. I'm also going to increase the bit rate from 2,200 kilobytes to 3,000 kilobytes, which is roughly 3 megabytes a second, which is about the highest Twitch accepts now, which means I'm not going to be streaming in 1080p HD. I'm going to keep streaming in 720 because 3 megabytes per second is not really a high enough bit rate for 1080. There'll be really bad buffer time. It won't even really look like 1080. The quality won't be as good. And it'll be a huge delay for the chat. You guys will be seeing the video really late because it'll have to take a lot of time to buffer. So it wouldn't turn out very well. What's better is that I keep the same picture size, and what I'm doing is I'm actually locally downscaling it to that. So it's actually a little bit better than 720. And the bitrate of 3 megabits per second, which again is not the peak of what 720 can do, but it's the peak of what Twitch will allow at this point, without limiting what the users are able to do. Because as long as I stay within the Twitch guidelines, they'll give the most options possible to you guys so that you guys have the best viewing experience. It'll ensure you guys can watch it on your mobile applications, on your phone and tablets, because I know I have a lot of viewers who like to do that so that they can walk around the house while they watch. So I don't want to take that away from you guys by upping the bitrate, so it'll make it more accessible for more people this way. And I will be able to up it to 60 frames per second doing that. Usually I'm doing 30 to 45 depending on the game. And 45 is actually a noticeable increase, weirdly enough. 50 I heard is actually a good increase from 45 as well, but I've just been playing with 30 and 45. Sorry, my heart actually physically hurts a little bit from stress. I can't think of anything else to say. Is the recording still going? It is. I'm going for 15 minutes. Okay. Look how grainy the picture is. I've got a new New webcam is bookmarked. I'm gonna order it soon. Once I've fixed the processor and I know how much that will cost, I'm gonna use the extra money to get the new webcam. It's gonna be a nice 1080p one. I believe it even supports 60 frames, although webcams lie a lot. The one you're currently looking at, it says it's 720 HD. Look how bad I look, though. It's because it's got like no light intake. It's a webcam. They blatantly lie, honestly. And it says 30 frames, but like when I move around and the lighting adjusts, the frames dip horribly. I'm not at 30 right now. Look how it looks like 22 frames. So I'm really hoping this new webcam will look a lot better. This is still an upgrade from my original one, which is $3 and yellow. Like the picture was yellow. But you don't notice how bad it looks that much when I have it just in the little corner on the streams whenever I put my face on the stream. And the new one will look much better. So it'll be good for the vlogs. It'll be good for putting in the corner on the streams. I plan to incorporate a webcam on the streams more, especially once I get the new processor so it can handle that extra little bit of data going through. I think that's all I have to say for today. Thank you very much for listening to all of this. If you have listened to all of this, then you know from the glimpse into my life video that the keyword is Chewbacca. If you watched the whole thing, and you want me to know in the comments that you stuck with me through this whole rambling vlog, you work Chewbacca into your comment. Extra points, extra bounty points, if you can make Chewbacca make sense within your comment, instead of just saying Chewbacca along with it. Although, if you can't think of anything, I don't blame you if you can't, simply saying Chewbacca along with your comment will do. This is important, you see. If you don't comment in some way saying Chewbacca in it, the universe will just implode. This is completely important that I explain it at this great length as well. So remember, everybody, fuck Canada Post. With any luck, I won't be late on tomorrow's video. If anything, this is a good thing, because this gives the people in the forum an extra week to work on their creepypasta. And if you want to support me, my Patreon account is linked in the description. I've been trying to plug that a lot lately, because it helps me do things like get money to fix my computer. And eat. Did the mic pick that up? My stomach growled right when I said that. That's fantastic. I ate like 2 bagels today. Money's expensive. Jesus Christ, I'm out of it. Food is expensive. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.